Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. Elijah, you are welcome to head on up with Jeremiah, up to the microphone, and then lead everybody in the pledge.
Everybody, please stand and put your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nice job. We have a special presentation here tonight for the students of our charter school, Valley Oaks. And I just want to say that I was on the board when we were able to open Valley Oaks years ago. And so Valley Oaks is near and dear to my heart. And so we have a presentation and we're going to go ahead and start. We're going to come down and watch you guys. Is that okay? will now take a 5-minute break, and so we can enjoy some cookies and dessert and mingle with Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus. Well, we will-
And Mrs. Napier. Excellent job. Tell your sister hello.
Grab a cookie on the way out. Where is Miss Santa Claus? You need to come on up to your meeting.
Party's over. Party's over, Mrs. Claus. Party's over.
Those good.
Can get a cookie.
I'll go get one. We will resume our meeting now and back in session. And roll call, please.
Julie Beechner's house.
Here.
Joe Marcano.
Here.
Mary Little.
Here.
Jose Gonzalez Jr. Lori Eskew.
Here.
James Robinson.
Here.
Lori Cisneros.
Here.
Annabelle Werner.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 2.4, adoption of the agenda. Do we have a motion?
On the agenda, there is a typo on item 4.1. It's presentation 2025 California School Dashboard Overview for KCBOE, not KCSOS. So it's KCBOE, authorized charter school.
So noted. Anything else?
To approve?
Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any discussion? Any opposed? So ordered. 2.5, musical presentation by Valley Oaks. I have to say, that was so enjoyable. Did you enjoy it? Yes. I had one of the mothers come up to me and I was talking. She said, my student thought this was the best thing and that we were really somebody because we got to come and perform here. They were so excited. And did you see the joy on their faces? That was so cute. And they did such a great job. So it just kind of brought in the spirit of Christmas tonight, didn't it? 2.6, our organizational meetings. That's 2.61, and the selection of the board president. And 2.62 and 2.63, can we do those all in one motion?
Motion.
Second.
And do you want to read the names off, Doctor?
Yes, so for the KCBOE sequence that was approved at the December 2022 board meeting, for the 2026 year, president would be Joe Marcano, vice president would be Lori Cisneros, and then the trustee representative would either be Julie Beechner or Jose Gonzalez. Either one is eligible for the trustee spot.
And did we have a motion?
We did.
Did we have a second?
We did.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
And we just need to clarify who would be the trustee representative. Would it be Julie, trustee Beechner, or trustee Gonzalez?
Do we want to clarify that now, or can we clarify that?
Jose, you
I
want
think,
Julie?
think Jose is deferring to Julie.
Defer to you.
Thank you, Julie. So again, that would be Joe, Lori, and then Julie.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? Any opposed? So ordered. And I just have to say that it's been a pleasure serving as the board president this year, and I have thoroughly enjoyed it. 2.7, approval of the minutes from the regular board meeting held on November 13th,
So moved.
2025.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? Any opposed? So ordered. And now we are on public comments, and we do have a couple of comments. Three. Go ahead and call the names.
Kathy Arrieta.
Hi, good evening. Really enjoyed the presentation from the kids. It was very nice, very cute. My name is Kathy. I'm a concerned citizen. I have family in the current district. So I'm just here to talk a little bit about the board resolution on August of 2025 opposing transgender girls in girls sports. I know this resolution is in opposition to the state law, which states that students can join sports and use facilities according to their gender identity. However, I would like to focus more on the rhetoric harm that not only hurts transgender students, but also all students, and some words from family members that attend the schools. We had some kids come to me and said something about, how their friends feel excluded from school spirit, they feel they're being put aside from everyone else, and by refusing to acknowledge the students' gender identities, the board is saying that these children don't matter, right? This emboldens and prompts the bullying, and we know that trans youth are 2 to 2.5 times more likely to experience depressive symptoms, seriously consider suicide, and attempt suicide compared to the cisgender peers. The potential for harm does not only end in childhood, it goes above, into their workforce. And no matter what we say or do, transgender, non-binary, and gender diverse people will continue to exist. I feel compelled to ask, what are the measures that are in place to protect those children who, as a result of the decision made by the board, may now be singled out by discrimination, harassment, and bullying? And it's crucial that we ensure the safety and support them in thriving in school. And just want to make sure if there's anything to support those kids. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jocelyn Frias.
Good evening, board members. My name is Jocelyn Frias, and I'm a community worker at California Rural Legal Assistance, where we have a program that specializes in LGBTQ+ justice. Earlier this year, on August 12th, you voted for a resolution opposing transgender girls in girls' sports. Although this opinion is the opposite of state law, which says that students can join sports and use facilities according to their gender identity, I'd like to focus on how such statements, even those that don't change California law, harm students, especially trans students. In effect, you're refusing to recognize students' gender identities, aka you're misgendering them. During the meeting where the resolution was passed, board members and community members alike used harmful language referring to trans girls as males instead of respecting students' identities, and even encouraged the isolation and othering of trans children in both facilities and sports. In a federal court case, a medical expert testified that misgendering can be degrading, humiliating, and mentally devastating. According to the California State Legislature, transgender and non-binary youth are 2 to 2.5 times as likely to experience depressive symptoms, seriously consider suicide, and attempt suicide compared to their cisgender LGBTQ+ peers. Your behavior sends a message to the rest of the students that their peers aren't valid, and this can embolden students to bully. In the 2021 National School Climate Survey by GLSEN, 83% of LGBTQ+ students reported hearing negative remarks about transgender people, and 53% of LGBTQ+ students were sexually harassed, meaning unwanted touching or sexual remarks in the past year at school. The potential for harm does not end in childhood. These kids grow up and enter the workforce. In our work, we see a lot of cases where transgender employees have been harassed. Their coworkers and bosses call them slurs, make inappropriate comments, or worse. In a brief published earlier this year by the UCLA School of Law Williams Institute, it is reported that LGBTQ+ people are 9 times more likely to experience violent hate crimes than non-LGBTQ+ people. Having been born and raised in Kern County and being a product of the public education system here from K through 12, I want to say this as a community member. This resolution is not representative of the future our community is forging in this county. The diverse communities I come from and work with, who are often underrepresented in your boardroom's decision-making, are resilient in demanding what is just. So despite what you say or do, transgender, non-binary, and gender-diverse children will continue to exist. Their needs matter, their voices matter, and more specifically to the matter at hand, trans girls are girls. So I ask you, the board, to also help them thrive as they are equally a part of this community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joanna Kendrick.
Good evening, everyone. It's lovely to see you tonight. I just came tonight to share a little bit more data about the Central Academy of Arts and Technology. We want to thank the Kern County Board for doing a presentation tonight about our charter schools with the release of our dashboards. I want to give a special thank you to several of the trustees who've taken time to come and visit the Central Academy of Arts and Technology. We've really enjoyed sharing our experiences with you and showing you what our students are up to just down the street at our arts and tech facilities. We also want to give a thank you to Lily, who stepped into Kathy's role in overseeing charter schools. We've had some really productive meetings with her, and she's taken the time to really get to know us and our mission and vision as a charter school. Tonight, I just wanted to share a little bit more about the data that Kimberly will share with you in just a minute. We are most excited that our students in English language arts scored 11 points above standard, positioning CAT to be the 4th highest performing district in Kern County and the 3rd highest performing elementary school district. This aligns with what we were seeing all year in terms of our reading results. This year, we're seeing just as strong reading results coming in on our iReady assessments. We currently have 85% of our second graders reading on grade level, and this is positioning us to build on the momentum of last year and continue to serve students well. In math, we are certainly not satisfied. We scored 37 points below the standard, but we've taken some great steps this year to double down on small group instruction and tutoring for our students. And most notably, our enrollment has held incredibly strong this year. We have increased enrollment by 192% from last year, and we have a growing wait list of 426 students strong. As we launch open enrollment in January, we're really optimistic that we'll be able to serve as many students as possible and continue to contribute to student success in Kern County. We just want to thank you for your continued support. None of this is possible without the support of our Kern County trustees. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joanna. No more presentations, thank you. Did everybody get the handout from Joanna? Okay. We are now on item 4.1, presentation of the 2025 California School Board Dashboard Overview for Kern County Superintendent Schools.
And take your time walking up. We're getting the monitors up here to work so we can see the presentation.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hi, good evening.
So,
All right.
looks like it's trying to come up.
Okay, there we go. All right. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Kimberly Graham, Assistant Superintendent of Local, Regional, and Statewide Systems of Support. This evening, I will be presenting the Charter School Report. It will be data that is from the 2025 California School Dashboard. As a reminder, performance on the California School Dashboard is one criterion in determining whether to grant a charter renewal. While we are not renewing any charter petitions this year, this report can be used as a progress report for each of our charter schools. Our next renewal will be for wonderful College Prep Academy Delano in 2027. Okay, it's still working. All right, so my presentation will include an overview, a very brief overview of the California School Dashboard, and then I'll get into the data for each of the charters. The California School Dashboard, it was established in March of 2017, and it serves as California's school accountability system. It was intended to provide parents and educators with information about school and district progress. Would you like for me to continue? Go ahead. Okay. All right. So the dashboard has a few core priorities embedded within it. One of those is multiple measures. So it's going to look at the whole child and not just look at academic indicators. It also supports local decision making. So the data that is from this dashboard, it will inform instructional programs, and it also is the foundation for the LCAP goals. It also supports continuous improvement. So the dashboard represents multiple years of data and is based on growth in each of those measures. When you go to the dashboard, you're going to see some colors. There are 5 colors, with red being or indicating the lowest performance, and then all the way to blue. As I mentioned before, the dashboard is based on multiple years of data, which will show growth. So the colors that you see will represent growth. So as an example, the growth is measured by the performance in the current year and then change in performance from the previous year. So in this particular example, the status was low, but increased from the previous year, so they improved, which gave this example district a yellow color. So later on in the presentation, you will see some colors in the data if it's available for that particular charter. On the dashboard, you're going to see both state and also local indicators. For all state indicators, you will see that color. What's reported is chronic absenteeism, suspension, English learner progress, graduation rate, college and career, English language arts, and also mathematics. There's also the 5 local indicators. Important to note that these are self-reported by each charter. They report on basic teacher, instructional materials and facilities, implementation of academic standards, local climate survey, access to a broad course of study. The measurement is standard met, standard not met, and standard not met for 2 or more years.
Excuse me, I'm sorry for interrupting.
Okay.
Is it possible to get a printout?
Yeah, we'll be
do
sending
that?
this to you. We're going to also do a computer reboot to see if
A
that'll
computer
fix
reboot?
the
Okay.
issue.
I was just wondering
So
if you
we'll
could just
take
print
a-
it like right on the spot and bring
Yeah,
it down
we
too
can't
much.
bring it. Yeah,
Okay.
won't be able to print it right away. But they'll do a reboot.
Okay. All right. If you were to go on to the California School...
Take a pause. They're
Take
gonna.
a pause. Okay.
That'll go blank here in a
All right.
minute for you.
Steve, is that online as well? Is that going off and on online? Well, our online, no, it's live. It's live. We're not coming in and out online. Okay. We're just having technical difficulties, so hang on. You want to do another 5-minute break? Yeah. Okay. We will take another 5-minute break. Dashboard, and our monitor up here is working.
Okay. All right, so if you were to go onto the California School Dashboard, this is an example of what you would see for school-wide performance level in each of the state and local indicators. If you were to click on any of those tiles within the dashboard, it's going to drill down into more information, specifically on student group performance. Okay, we're going to transition into the data for each of the charters. I will be reporting on the school-wide performance for each charter, as well as how they compare to both the county and state. I'll start with a snapshot of the California School Dashboard for each, and then I'll follow up with the county and state comparison. Also, one thing to note, I will be sharing only the state indicator information this evening. Okay, first up we have Ridgecrest Elementary Academy for Language, Music, and Science. Again, this is the school-wide snapshot that's available on the dashboard. Chronic absenteeism, yellow, suspension, green. No performance color for English learner progress. That's because they do not have enough students to report. English language arts is yellow, and mathematics is orange. This next slide is going to be the one that shows the comparison from county and also state. You will also notice the performance color for the charter if it was available. So for ELA, the CASP, Realms is 53.2, below standard. In math, 61.8. Chronic absenteeism is 24.5%, and suspension rate is 2.5%. For Wonderful College Prep Academy Delano, again, the snapshot is chronic absenteeism orange, suspension red, English learner progress green, graduation rate blue, college and career green, English language arts orange, mathematics orange. Wonderful College Prep Academy Lost Hills. We have chronic absenteeism green, suspension orange, English learner progress blue, none for grad rate or college and career, English language arts orange, and mathematics orange. One thing to note is Lost Hills does not have a performance color for college and career or grad rate because they did not have at least 30 high school graduates in 24 and 25. That's why you don't see a color there. This slide combines both, so you can see both Lost Hills and Delano in the county and state performance. So for ELA, Delano, 7.3 below standard, 36 below standard. In math, 58 below and 81 below. For LP growth, there is 56 and 59. I'm having a hard time reading my own notes here. Also on this slide, for LP, you're not going to see any county-wide data reported. That is because we pull all of that through kids to develop what the county rate would be. In order to do that, we need to have every district's LPAC assessments, and we don't have all of those yet, which is why you don't see a number there. Chronic absenteeism, 16.7 and 9.5, and suspension, 6.9 and 6.
Kimberly, could I ask a question briefly?
Sure.
So that I can continue to look at the data. When you list Kern, you're not specifically talking about Kern County Board of Education schools. You're talking about all of the districts within Kern that report
Yes.
that data.
So the county data is for all districts and charters. That's the county average.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let's see. All right, so we have college and career readiness. We are at 74. Also for Lost Hill 76, remember that we're not going to have a color there. We didn't have enough students, but we can still report out what the numbers were. Graduation rate would be 100 for both schools. Okay, so for GROW, this is GROW's first year operating as GROW Public School, a countywide charter. So only current year data is being reported. Again, that's why you're not going to see any colors when you go onto the dashboard. But we do have data for you specific to comparisons for the county and state. So I'll just give you a moment to read those over instead of reading them aloud.
And how do you get these numbers if they're not, how do you get the numbers even when they're not reportable?
They still have to submit all of this information into CalPADS. They're not getting performance colors because the dashboard has to have 2 years of data, and in these cases, they don't have 2 years of reported data. But we do have current year data to report out.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have Central Academy of Arts and Technology. This is CAT's first year with a dashboard, so only current year data is being reported. So they are not going to have any colors for those state indicators. For ELA for CASP, CAT is 11 points above standard. For math, 37 below standard. Chronic absenteeism at 25.8 and suspension rate at 2.2. Okay, I will pause here, and are there any questions that you might have?
There's nothing here for ELA for CAT. Am I looking at? Oh, heavens. Doi. Okay. My bad, I apologize. Also, at the very first slide, I think there were 3 particular metrics that you talked about right at the beginning.
Uh-huh.
The first one was, what was that? There were 3 in particular.
I'm going to go back and you tell me.
Yeah, I'm sorry to
one.
drag you all
Okay.
the way back there.
It's all right.
I want to understand something.
Here?
No, they had there were 3 standards that you were, oh yeah, multiple measures.
Yeah.
You also called that the whole child?
Yes.
What does that encompass?
So the California School Dashboard is looking at other outcomes for students besides academic indicators. So things such as suspension rate, chronic absenteeism, college and career readiness, and also English language arts and math.
Thank you. I appreciate the clarification.
Uh-huh.
Sorry to drag you back there.
That's okay. Any other questions? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kimberly. Informational item 4.2, the 2025-2026 Williams Legislation Annual Report. Annabelle?
This is just a summary of all the Williams reports that were presented to the board throughout the year for the county of Kern. So you can see we didn't have any major issues. 25, 26.
Any questions, Trustee Cisneros? No? Okay.
I was a little confused because the numbers in the back of the packet don't match, but I'm figuring it out as far as the extra.
Oh,
Yeah, but I think I got it now. The
Okay.
4s are really 5s, in case anybody else had the same problem.
that's because you redid the agendas, I think.
That's okay.
Yeah, yeah. And we are going to have a presentation of our annual Thanksgiving luncheon at the Blair Education Center, and I heard that the video came out very well. We had a fabulous time serving the students with their families a wonderful Thanksgiving meal that's prepared so well, and so many kids enjoyed it. You should see when they first come in, the apprehension, they're scared, they're unsure. And many of them have never had a Thanksgiving meal like that. And then by the time they leave, they're enjoying themselves, they're talking to one another, they're building community, they're not fighting, they're learning that they can get along and share a meal together. You know, and we only had one student that came in and he says, I just can't go in there because he was afraid of gang activity. But you know what? He didn't leave. He stayed outside and he still tried to come and interact. He had a meal. So it was very, very well done. And so many people helped put that together. And we owe a debt of gratitude to so many people that did a fabulous job serving, making the decorations, serving the food, making the food, preparing it, putting all the thought together on how to get this done. It's just a phenomenal event, and we're very, very happy with it. So enjoy our presentation.
Hi, thank you for coming. We're so excited to have you. I'm Nancy. Kern County Board of Education is collaborative with Kern County Superintendent of Schools, and we've developed a wonderful program, innovative program, where we serve the kids at risk a Thanksgiving meal, and it's just a way to show them that we listen to them, we care about them, and we want them to have the best that we can offer them. I'm thankful for another day to be here. I just breathe and live, and thank everybody for coming.
The board decided unanimously again to go ahead and host another Thanksgiving luncheon here at Blanton Education Center. And we're here just to connect with families and students and staff and admin at this time of year, which is wonderful to stop a little bit and think about what we're thankful for and to just let students know that we see them, that they're important to us, and that we're thankful for them.
Like ice cream? Okay, Christine. Ice cream's the best. This is a great tradition and a way to bring the community together. Kern County Superintendent Schools Office works in collaborative efforts with the Kern County Information Department, and this is a great way to really bring students and programs together and provide them an opportunity of a meal that they can enjoy during this holiday season.
We don't know if these families will have a chance to do this at home. This might be their only opportunity to have Thanksgiving together. And I know a lot of students aren't going to have families here today, and that's okay. I want them to know there's other people in the community that see them and care for them. And I just want to thank all the staff and admin involved in pulling this off.
Good work
Any,
on the video.
any comments from the board? Or any comments from the, you want to have a comment? Go ahead.
I just thought it was amazing. You know, there was one little girl, she was beautiful, and her mom wouldn't come. And it just kind of broke your heart, you know? And I was talking to another mother and child, and she was there with her daughter. And I said, you know what, honey, I have the perfect table for you to sit with. And I sat her with that other mother and daughter, and they just hit it off. Like that mother just enveloped her, you know, because her mom wouldn't come. And that, you know, that's the kind of things that those children deal with. You know, her mom wouldn't come to a Thanksgiving dinner, lunch. And so to do something like that for those kids, I don't know. I got emotional. I got emotional that day. So it was just a really nice time.
I agree. It was great, and probably my favorite part of the day was letting the students and parents, anyone who wanted to get on the mic and share what they were thankful for. And it took a little courage for some of the students, and some of them are, you know, they're comfortable in front of people, but it just was really special to take that time out to really focus on what they're thankful for. I had one student say he was too shy to get up in front, and he didn't want me to talk for him. He just wanted to tell me what he was thankful for. So I stepped aside in the corner, and he came over, and I had my arm around him, and he just told me that he was homeless and addicted to fentanyl, and someone on the street told him the gospel, and he got saved, and he accepted Jesus Christ into his heart. He got clean. He was clean for about 6 weeks, and he had a necklace with a image of Jesus on it, and he was proud to show me that. And it was really special to hear that from him, and I could tell he was emotional about it. And I just gave him a big hug, and I said, you know, that's the best decision you're ever going to make in your entire life. And look at you. You're clean. You look good. You look, you know, he's clear in his head. And it was a really neat moment. I mean, you can't expect that to happen every day. I mean, what a great opportunity to be a part of that. So, thank you, board, for supporting that.
Any other comments? Trustee Robinson, did you want to say anything?
Aside from the fact that I truly enjoyed that day of fellowship. It was really nice in there. The staff that was back, they put in the meals together. It was a really, really well-oiled machine. I mean, all we had to do was pick up plates and deliver them, go around pouring drinks. The lion's share of the work was being done by, I assume, staff, some volunteers that were back there. So it was an incredible community effort. And Kelly Blanton Center is also, too, a beautiful place. I can see many, many good things coming out of there. So but that was my first time I had an opportunity to attend one of those, and it was really great. And next year?
I'm really glad you mentioned the staff and everyone. It was amazing how quickly everything came together. We showed up 2 hours early, and it was already set up. So they just did a great job. It was beautiful in there, and like you said, that was well put, well-oiled machine. It was really well done.
We played a couple games, and Lori, Trustee Eskew put together a gift basket for all of them, and they really, really enjoyed that. And we try to make the games interactive so where they can have fun, and I think they enjoyed it. There was one student there that probation told me about how he was so disruptive when he first came, and he would tear up the schools, and he would try to fight, and it was just so ugly, and his behavior was horrible. I mean, just horrible. And to him, I was able to talk to him, and his last day was the day of the Thanksgiving luncheon, and it made his day. And he was so excited to say that I was able to come here and have a good lunch, and thank you for what you've done to me, for me. And he just left on such a good, positive note. It was so cool. And probation said he's just turned his life around, and that Thanksgiving dinner helped him. So, yeah, I was so excited. So we're going to be doing this maybe at a different location next year, but we plan to carry on this tradition and keep it going.
Indeed.
We have our 5.1 consent agenda. Approval of graduation diplomas.
Motion.
Second.
All those, I have a first and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So ordered. Thank you. General business 5.21, accept and file first interim report.
We have John Medina here to present the first interim budget report. And then the presentation is printed out as well.
Hello, John.
Hello, board. Good evening. I'm going to be covering the first interim budget report. So this is the first of the 2 mid-year financial reviews. So first interim takes all of our financial activity from July 1 through October 31st, and we take all that financial data that we have and we reproject where we think we're going to finish the year. And so that's what these numbers are here. So on page 1, we'll look at general fund revenues. Garrett, can you can I just say next slide and click over it? Okay. So looking at general fund revenues, before I start in, I did want to fill in some information because I don't think I've done it before, but LCFF sources, really what that means is that's local control funding formula sources. So those are dollars that are coming from the state of California in the formula that's prescribed by the state itself. So the local control funding formula for school districts and county offices of education are a little bit different. Again, school districts are more heavily funded by this formula. About 80% of their revenue on average comes from the formula. For us, it's the other way around. It's about 20% of our general fund revenue comes through the LCFF. So a county office formula really has three prongs. There's the county operations grant, which is primarily influenced by the number of students that attend schools in Kern County and the number of school districts in Kern County. Those are both factored in. The second prong is the alternative education grants. So that's all the attendance and the enrollment and the unduplicated pupil percentages for the students that are in our court and community schools. And the third prong, again, is our differentiated assistance funding. So as Kimberly Graham was mentioning, there's the whole dashboard. Well, based on certain metrics where some districts and student groups fall in, again, if they're trailing a little bit for multiple consecutive years, then our office receives funding to support those school districts in those efforts. So those are the three primary prongs. There's an additional little bit that our office receives for property taxes, but again, really that's a separate mechanism that we end up getting backfilled either way. But that's how the local control funding formula works and really what it is. Do you mind going back? Thank you. So in terms of local control funding formula, at July 1, we projected $65.8 million in revenue. We've now revised that downward by $250,000, and that's because we're projecting about 17 less attendance days, student attendance days in our alternative education program. Again, yes, it's less revenue, but...
And why is that, John?
What we're seeing is our projections where we thought students would be attending are a little bit lower. So that means, again, in theory, students are remaining at local school districts, which is not necessarily a bad thing for us. So just one caveat with that. For federal revenue, again, we book federal revenue when we receive grant award notifications, when we know that the funding is guaranteed to come in. So at July 1, we projected $30.5 million. We're now revising that upwards by about $300,000. Again, due to accounting rules, we recognize the revenue when we're expending the dollars. When we end up recognizing it, I know it's a little confusing, but we're recognizing carryover from prior year now that we've closed the books, and it's about $300,000. Other state revenue, again, very similar. Since July 1, we've received two major additional grants from the state. One is a $20 million, we were selected in a competitive application for a statewide math learning partnership grant. So that was $20 million. Again, we don't expect all of it to come in this year, but again, some of it's going to show up in next year too. That's why it's not the full $20 million. And the second major grant that we received was a student teacher stipend award through the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing. So we were selected out of all the other county offices through the state to run this and implement this for the CTC, and that's another $5 million that we're seeing. And again, not all of it is going to be expended and received this year, but some of it next fiscal year too. But all in all, that's why state revenue is up about $17 million. Lastly, local revenue, we're projecting an increase from $138 million up to $151 million, so about $13.5 million increase. A lot of that is due to our JPA contracts. So again, our JPAs are Schools Legal Service, CISC, FCMAT. Again, primarily FCMAT has received additional dollars from the state or through contracts for the work and job studies that they do. In addition to those contracts, we also have carryover revenue from our fee-for-service programs, and a lot of that revenue is now recognized that we've closed the books and we've now rolled it over into this current year. So overall, since July 1, we are now recognizing about $31 million more in revenue than we recognized at July 1. Okay, next slide. So in terms of expenditures, how I've continued to show is I've broken down our expenses by our primary functional areas. So the first, you'll see alternative education. That recognizes the operations for court and community schools. We're projecting expenditures to increase by about $414,000 since July 1. Again, we've now settled negotiations, and the lion's share of all those increases are due to the results of negotiations now being recognized in the budget. Same for special education and SELP activities. That $1.4 million is primarily due to the results and the acknowledgement of negotiations now on the budget. As I mentioned, administrative agencies, those are the JPAs, Schools Legal Service, FCMAT, CISC. Again, those are the primary ones. While there is a smaller portion that is due to the increase in negotiations, those entities, as they're acquiring new customers, in the case of CISC or FCMAT, as they are doing additional job studies or being commissioned by the state, they have additional expenses that they need to accrue. But again, all those programs and JPAs are operating in a self-sustaining way and have sufficient revenues to meet their expenditures. But overall, across all those entities, they're projected to see another $5 million increase in expenses this year. And lastly, county operated, that captures everything that's not in those three buckets above. So we're talking fiscal services, human resources, curriculum and instruction, everything else at KCSOS that is not one of those three buckets above. We're projecting a $29 million increase in expenses. So again, a portion of that is due to negotiations, but remember we have those two large grants that we receive from the state, and we're recognizing a lot of the expenditures that are going to be flowing out associated with those. So overall, we're projecting expenditures to increase by about $36.6 million since July 1.
What would be the most expensive, what's the biggest contributing to the increase?
Correct. So the $20 million math partnership grant that we were awarded, that is the single biggest. That's over half of those new expenditures on top of the student teacher stipend program for the CTC, which was $5 million. That's, again, those two together make up the lion's share of the $36 million. If you remember, I mentioned we did close the books, so there are some expenditures that we still needed to do that we didn't get a chance to complete in prior year. Well, those have now been rolled over with carryover funds, so they're now being captured here too. But that, in a nutshell, without going too far into the weeds, those are the biggest items that are driving the increase. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple other programs and funds that I do want to make note of. So the Charter School Fund recognizes the operations for Valley Oaks Charter School. In terms of revenues, we're projecting a $188,000 increase, and that is direct. So attendance projections are coming right on the head. So we did a pretty good job there, but we're seeing the unduplicated percentage for Valley Oaks increase. So that's the number of English learners, foster youth, and low-income students being enrolled. So that increased from 90% to 91.5%, and that's directly the reason for the $188,000 increase in revenue. In terms of the Child Development Fund, so this recognizes the operations for the state's Child Care Provider Entitlement Program. So we're seeing a $15 million increase there. And if you recall, these dollars are directly related to the number of slots that are approved for families in Kern County. So once we receive a revised grant award of additional slots, we are now able to book that revenue and then turn around and open up the slots to additional families in Kern County. And lastly, the Cafeteria Fund recognizes all of our nutrition services operations. We're projecting a $100,000 increase in revenue there through additional meals that are served through our programs, as well as additional customers that we've been able to add to our roll this year. So that's
Always been on food, cafeteria fund?
correct. Cafeteria. So under the leadership of our current nutrition director, Rafael Juarez, he's done a great job at continuing to expand our offerings to local districts and from scratch cooking for all of our students here.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah. Okay, we're good on revenues, expenses now. So the associated expenses with each of these funds, so again, Valley Oaks Charter School are projecting an increase of about $900,000. So again, the bulk of that is related to the impact of negotiations. But again, there are some nominal adjustments based on, when we closed the year, there were some additional items and additional facilities work that they continued and persisted with. So those are now recognized. But if you recall, revenue is still about $15.2 million. So more than enough to offset the expenditures here and continue to be self-sustaining. The Child Development Fund, the increase in expenses is exactly commensurate with the amount of revenues that we're bringing in. So again, we're opening up the slots and now budgeting for those dollars to flow to families. and the cafeteria fund is increasing expenses by about $500,000. So as I mentioned, Mr. Juarez is continuing to expand the program, and with the opening of the central kitchen, there's some one-time cost that we're expecting to roll off, but it's just associated with the expansion of the program. But again, each of these funds continues to operate within their means. They're self-sustaining and, again, ensuring their stability. So any questions on the expenditures for these programs? Okay. Next slide. So again, I do want to thank each and every one of my accountants and one of my management staff, because again, I may be the face, presenting all this, but I couldn't do it without each one of them, as well as the program directors from every one of our departments here at KCSOS. Again, I'm very proud to say that our first interim report ensures that our organization is fiscally stable, meets all the state compliance requirements for the state of California to certify positive, meaning that we can meet our obligations in the current year and the 2 subsequent years. So again, welcome any questions you might have, but just want to say thank you to everybody.
Thank you. Item 5.2, 5.2.2, approval of the resolution before the Kern County Board of Education.
So moved.
Hold on, and the Kern County Superintendent of Schools in the matter of impoundment of local tax revenues to anticipate pending claims and/or litigation.
Oh.
So John will go ahead and explain that to us. Thank you.
So again, this is something that comes to the board every year. So we get notified, with about 30 days before it comes to the board, of how much of our property taxes that are allocated for the County Office of Education are being contested. And every year there's a certain number of property taxes that are contested, and that's completely normal. The way that it works is our office, as long as we direct the county to set those funds aside, the state will backfill us based on whatever the funding amounts that are prescribed in the local control funding formula. They will come in and backfill whatever offset is done for the impoundment of property taxes. In some years, we don't need to impound. We actually get to, we have enough funds set aside that we actually get to draw down some of those. But this is just one of those years where we need to set dollars aside, but the state's going to backfill us on that end. Hopefully that's clear enough, but if there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to go into those details. But really what we're asking of the board is to impound $860,000 of contested property taxes that, again, if those property owners win, those are those dollars that can flow back to them, but it does not impact our county office funding.
Well, do you have any questions?
Well, this is new. I mean, I know we've been through this before, but can you explain one more time what happens if we don't use those funds? Where do those funds go?
Okay. So if we do not impound taxes, then we would receive all these funds, including the impounded taxes. But if they're contested and the property owners win, then the county will come in and take those dollars right from our bottom line, and the state will not backfill us for that difference. So it's a funding mechanism through the local control funding formula. The local control funding formula, just for example, says KCSOS is entitled to $100 million. Of that $100 million, 20 is property taxes, and the rest is backfilled by state income taxes and other revenue sources. So if for some reason, this goes down to 19, for property taxes go down to 19 million, the state will just backfill the rest. Does that conceptually
I think
make
so.
sense?
Yeah. So is this a yearly, and we're at the end of the year, so I'm thinking it starts over in January and we look at it again? Is that how that works?
Well, we're in the middle of the fiscal year. So
the fiscal year.
Correct.
Okay.
So right at this point, there's a property tax roll in the fall, then there's another property tax roll in the spring, and we can ask the county of Kern to start offsetting some of those impoundments so that we can manage cash flow, but at the end of the day, it protects our revenue.
I see. Okay. So you'll give us updates throughout if things change, or is this a once a year update that we get?
We'll continue to receive updates from the county of Kern. So at second interim, again, we'll have a revised projection. But this is as best as we know for right now.
So basically, this is just making sure we get that money and make it safe.
Correct. It's making it safe.
And we're going to vote on this, right? This resolution,
Mhm.
but it has John's signature because he's the ex officio secretary of the board.
Correct.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, it comes
Okay.
from
So you're, okay, because it also involves KCSOS?
Yes, it comes from the budget that John just presented. It comes-
Okay, I see.
So easy way
Okay.
to identify it is, say, so they want 800,000, saying $800,000 will be accounted. The state we won't be out that 800,000. The state will backfill that for us. At the end of the year, say next year, we didn't have to spend that, say half of that. Then now we're going to receive $400,000 back, then the state will minus that from the allocation they're giving us. We will always have a net zero, so it's never, at the end of the day, if we don't do a resolution, as John was saying, then the county will just come and take it, and the state will not pay us for that
I
because
see.
we did not allow them the opportunity to take what they thought they needed. But it's always, at the end of the day, will come back at zero for the county.
Thank you.
Just
Thank
out
you.
of curiosity, it said several claims are now pending before the Assessment Appeals Board. Is there a general reason for that? Are they all the same reason?
They could be
Just contested tax payments?
contested tax payments, and for us, it's spread across all the tax rate areas in the entire county of Kern. So you could have ag landowners contesting the value of their land, say they remove crops, it could change valuation, same with oil. They could be saying that they've depleted reserves, some are showing more reserves, so they're contesting taxes. Again,
So this is a spitting contest between landowners or property owners and the tax assessor?
correct.
Okay, makes sense now. Thank you.
Any
Make a
other
motion.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any other discussion? Any opposed? So ordered.
We need to vote on 5.
Did we not vote on the interim report? Okay, let's go back. Thank you,
I tried.
trustee. Oh, I'm sorry, you should yell at me some more. Thank you, trustee McCarnell. Motion? Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So ordered, thank you. 5.2.3, approval of the 2020-26
Mm-hmm. Looks good to me.
regular board meeting schedule. We have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
And there's not going to be any opposed. Okay. And now we have a resolution for our student trustee, Annabelle.
Mhm. By the way, it resolves everything. Everything.
Fantastic.
You get to come stand right up here. You get to come right up here in the front.
Oh, you want me to do this? Our student trustee has been with us for 6 months already. It's gone by super fast. And so we would like to present to her a resolution honoring her for coming and learning about the Kern County Board of Education and being a valuable part of this. So I hope that it inspired her and that she's enjoyed it and that she will tell other students to come and spend some time with us as well. So we want to say that we are recognizing Annabelle Warner for her distinguished service as a student representative on the Kern County Board of Education. Whereas Annabelle Warner has served with distinction as a student representative on the Kern County Board of Education, providing invaluable insight and representing the interests and perspectives of her fellow students. And whereas during her time as a student representative, Annabelle Warner has demonstrated exceptional dedication, leadership, and commitment to the educational community and contributing to the betterment of programs affecting students across Kern County. And whereas Annabelle Warner has been a steadfast advocate for student voices, ensuring that the concerns and aspirations of her peers are heard and addressed by the board. And whereas her efforts have significantly enhanced the dialogue between students and the board members, fostering a collaborative and inclusive environment. And whereas Annabelle Warner has exemplified the values of service, integrity, and academic excellence, serving as a role model for her fellow students and an inspiration to the entire educational community. Now therefore be it resolved that the Kern County Board of Education and the Kern County Superintendent of Schools hereby express their deepest appreciation and heartfelt gratitude to Annabelle Warner for her outstanding service as the student representative. And be it further resolved that this resolution be entered into the official minutes of the Kern County Board of Education and a copy presented to Annabelle Warner as a token of our esteem and recognition of her exceptional contributions, recognition of her exceptional contributions, adopted this 9th day of December 2025.
She wasn't expecting that, was she?
Thank you, Annabelle. Would you like your dad to come up? You want a picture with her? Come on up. Come on up here. We'll get your picture. Steve, will you take his? Thank you. You know, and I want to thank you for coming and being a part of it and watching her every board meeting. Come back and see us.
Now, when you spell board meeting, don't spell it B-O-R-E-D. Among other things. No reason this can't be fun.
Okay, we are now on members of the board will report on various topics. So, Trustee Mercano, do you have any report?
Sure, yes. I attended my first CSBA annual education conference last week. Great time. Had no idea how huge it was. Trustees all throughout the state. And saw a choir presentation from my high school alma mater, so that was fun and surprising. And it was great. There were topics for everybody there, and I had a really good time. Sacramento's a nice town, aside from the homelessness, and it was rather cold, but I had a great time, and I look forward to future events in sunnier climates like San Diego.
San Diego, next year it's coming.
And lastly, I want to thank Annabelle for spending your last 6 months with us, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Mercano. Trustee Eskew?
Well, I just want to say that I made it through my first year as a trustee.
Yay!
I'm really proud of this board for the resolutions and the things that they've done and stood up for. Annabelle, thank you for being part of our team for the last 6 months. I hope you learned a lot, and we've really enjoyed having you. San and I have been very busy. We did get to give back to Blanton. We got to go there and participate with the kids as Santa and Mrs. Claus. And it's funny, you know, those kids, you know, they always act real embarrassed, you know, oh gosh, I don't want to be with Santa, but you start talking to them and they really melt and they have a good time and they're a lot of fun. Those kids are a lot of fun. And plus they're kind of close to my heart anyway. And other than that, it's, oh yeah, we were out at Wasco for the KCSOS special needs kids. We've been doing that. It's kind of funny. We've been doing that almost 15 years, and I didn't realize it until Dr. Mindebro said something this last year about it. But those kids are a lot of fun. Also, we go out there and dance and, you know, have pizza with them and give out presents. But other than that, our schedule's busy and looking forward to the next year.
Thank you. Trustee Towns?
Nothing officially to report from my area. Just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and happy holiday season, and hope the teachers get a couple of weeks of rest and students are ready to start fresh after the new year. So thank you.
Thank you.
Real quick. And also, Santa and I brought those little gifts for you guys because we wanted to remind you guys that we were here to visit you guys.
Thank you. So it's a very thoughtful
Oh,
gift.
this
Yes.
is, oh, thank
Yes,
you.
those are wonderful.
This is what we
This
got.
is
It's delicious. The almond roca is great.
Yeah, one of my favorite things.
Cute, thank you.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Nothing to report, but I do want to wish all of you, same as Julie, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, amen.
Trustee Cisneros?
Yes, thank you. I wrote down my notes because I want to remember to say everything, but I did want to give the public and the board a little summary of what I learned at the CSBA conference. I went to several workshops, and one of them was titled Latest Development on Title IX, and CSBA claims that Title IX is already protected by California law and that the new federal executive order called Keeping Men Out of Women's Sports does not supersede California law. And that's what they were stating at the conference. California has its own definition of harassment, which includes whether it is severe or pervasive. In a situation where a uniform complaint has been filed, it is up to the person investigating to determine whether or not the incident is severe. So, you know, where is the standard in that? So I had some questions. As I sat through some of these workshops, being in California, there's definitely a liberal bent on the presentations and the perspectives. So that was one. Let's see, another workshop was called Fast and Furious, Keeping Up with Federal Action in Education, and what that means for our district. So there were 3 lawyers that gave a presentation, and one stated that the presidential administration cannot actually stop the U.S. Department of Education, only Congress can, and that the DOE outsources other departments like the Department of Labor, such as with Title I funding. So the Office of Civil Rights has come to a standstill, and we don't know who will be taking care of that, or taking that over, basically. Even if another department funnels the money, they will determine the parameters or strings attached. They also stated that California is developing their own Office of Civil Rights in 2027 in order to, quote, pick up the slack of the federal offices. And they will appoint their own anti-Semitism director. They also brought up a case. I'm telling you, it was hard to sit through these. I took a lot of notes. They brought up the case Mahmoud v. Taylor. That's the one with the opt-out form for parents who do not want their children exposed to LGBTQ materials. And they're talking about that will expand to preferred pronouns and or required immunizations. It's just got the snowball rolling with that, so that'll be interesting to see what direction that goes. California receives $44.3 billion with a B dollars for education. And in 2026, the year coming up, the federal government says that California must legally sign and align with Title IX on their stand on gender, because the state will need education funding next year in 2026. The attorneys predicted that they will not comply, as far as California not complying with federal, and will be sued, and then it will be appealed and go on to the U.S. Supreme Court. So this is going to be another journey. They also mentioned issues with ICE and outing policies and school choice. The last session I went to was the last general session, and they were talking about artificial intelligence and education, which was super interesting. Dr. Ruman Chowdhury is her name. She's the CEO and co-founder of Humane Intelligence. She spoke about keeping humans in the loop. She stated that almost all students are using AI for help with projects, essays, and problem solving. And she said AI is taking a cognitive toll on students because their brains are not fully developed and they cannot discern if AI input into their brains is good or bad. They don't have that discernment. They are letting AI do the critical thinking for them. It's so fresh and new. You know, students are really interested in it. And I know KCSOS and KCBOE, we have safeguards in place around AI, but this is good information just for even our own children in the community and our own children and grandchildren. So she said that the motivation has decreased from over-reliance on AI, and they have this learning helplessness that's being substituting AI for gaining knowledge. They are often developing the idea of why bother studying when AI can do it. That's what these kids are thinking when they see AI. What is the least amount of work possible? So I'm not saying all students are like this, but those that are attracted to AI and drawn into that are developing that mindset. And they think, you know, I don't need to be an expert at anything because AI is the expert. So Dr. Chowdhury is noticing that high school students, they see the white-collar jobs going away because AI is replacing humans in some of those jobs. So they don't want to pursue those anymore. But she also encouraged school districts to continue teaching the trades and hands-on learning, which I know that Kern County is doing an excellent job with that. We're staying in touch with hands-on training and the trades, so I applaud Kern County for that. I think other districts in LA, they aren't focusing so much on that, so it's a problem. So she believes the domain basics in education should be fully taught by a human first, and then introduce AI later in education. Right now, it's kind of blending together. So it's a very eye-opening talk that she gave, and something that, like I said, parents and teachers and admin, we need to be aware of the AI influence on children and their mental state. And I wanted to share that, a few takeaways from that CSBA. We also had fun seeing other trustees across the state, as Trustee Marcano said, and they had a exhibit where they had several companies share what they have to contribute to education. And I just wanted to share one that stood out to me. Strategic Kids, they focus on ELD students, and they have a program where they hone in on the LPAC test, which is what I used to give when I was at Valley Oaks, and focusing on test-taking strategies, which as a teacher I think is really important, because all schools in Kern County and across the state have to teach English to English learners, and they have the curriculum, and they have the reading, writing, speaking, listening, and the practice with that. But then when it comes to the actual state test, the way it's set up and the way it's presented is not how they've been practicing. And that's always been a concern of mine as a teacher, to see that gap there. So this company talked to me for quite a bit about how they do this, and I loved it, and I thought, this is brilliant. This is helping students understand the language in the test and to be able to be comfortable taking the test and feel free to speak when it's their turn to speak. And so anyway, I wanted to give this to you, Dr. Mindebro, for you guys to check out. It's just, you know, when I look at all the scores and everything, I just know there's good practices out there. I know that Kern County has a lot of good practices. It's always good to see what else is out there, because we can always improve in different areas. So that was one that I thought was interesting. Almost done. I do want to say something about, oh my gosh, I almost forgot. I went to visit CAT Charter recently. It was great. Thank you, Joanna Kendrick, for that visit. And Greg was there, and I think it was Lila that was with us. So the kids were were in their classes. I got to see them in action. They were given, it was cute because the kids were given permission to come up to me and introduce themselves, and they were just so cute. I just love kids so much, and they stuck out their hand, and my name is, and so they introduced themselves, and they told me what they were learning, and I got to ask them some questions, just a few here and there coming to me. And then we walked around, saw classes that were busy, listening to the teacher, teaching direct instruction, all paying attention, taking notes. Some classes were doing small group conversations. Some students were up moving around and doing different tasks. And some working independently on art projects or computer assessments. Some of them had laptops. So it was busy, and I love to see that in a school. All the kids were busy, and the staff was engaged. There were parent helpers there. There were classified staff available for help. And as a teacher, it just warmed my heart. And that place is fun. The colors are bright. The kids were super cute. What can I say? And it was great. So thank you for having me, and I enjoyed it very much. I want to come back. I missed your Christmas program, but hopefully next year that works out. I'd love to see that too. And then I do want to say just a couple things about the Ten Commandments. You know, during the Thanksgiving luncheon, I know I shared that people were able to express what they're thankful for. And I kind of had this epiphany while I was there that it was a moment to thank. In my mind, for me, it was God with a capital G, but for other people, it was just a higher being. It didn't have to be the same God as me. But we gave them someone, a higher being, to express gratitude to. And I think that meant something to the people there. I think that, you know, when we think about God, there's something in us as human beings that are looking for a higher being. And I'm not here to preach the gospel or anything, but I do believe that they shared how they were thankful for friends and family, and some were thankful for just the food in front of them. And that, you know, I actually have this Bible that's called the Patriots Bible, but it has historical documents inside of it as well, which is pretty interesting. But it basically says, this one paragraph, it says, "It is amazing that at a time when such a concerted effort is underway to erase the role of God and faith in America's public life, our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., is filled with Christian religious symbols that adorn its buildings and monuments as an abiding evidence of God's role in American heritage. From the halls of Congress to the monuments to nearly every landmark building, biblical and religious quotations and images are inscribed and preserved as an official testimony to the true place God has in our nation's birthright and history." So I just think we can't ignore the fact that these founding fathers of ours believed they had faith in God with a capital G that allowed them to write these documents that allow us to now decide what God we want to serve. It doesn't have to be the same God, but the fact that they were moved by that to write the documents that we use today in our government, I think it's important that we tell our students about that. And it's not that we're pushing our God on them. We're saying, hey, this is how we're established. And now you get to choose with your family what God you want to serve. Last thing I want to say really quick is the Constitution of the California Constitution. The California Constitution has a preamble. And the preamble says, "We, the people of the state of California, grateful to Almighty God," capital A, capital G, Almighty God, "for our freedom, in order to secure and perpetuate its blessings, do establish this Constitution." So it's even in our California Constitution. And thank you for taking the time to listen to me. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Trustee Robinson?
I gotta follow that.
Well,
Well
you
done.
didn't go ahead of me this time, though.
I beg your pardon?
Never mind.
This is a quote that I've thought about quite often over the last few days. I wanted to make sure I got the wording right. When I despair, I remember that all through history, the ways of truth and love have always won. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time they can seem invincible. But in the end, they always fall. Think of it. Always. Translation of that, God always wins. Doesn't matter which God it is. I know the God I worship. I don't think he's different than a lot of the gods that other people worship. And I think that what Lori said with regards to, Trustee Cisneros said with regards to recognizing that you are not the universe, that there is something much larger that you should pay attention and homage and gratitude to. Very, very foundational. I think it's an incredible thing for folks to remember. So, as far as the Ten Commandments are concerned, we will revisit that. I had an interesting month. It was kind of a full month. On November 17th, I attended and was allowed to speak at the Leaders in Life General Meeting. The Leaders in Life is a group of 8 through 12 students who want to step into the public arena. They want to go ahead and sharpen their presentation and speaking skills. They recognize the importance of that, and so they are a group, and there were 80 of them in this general meeting, plus all the facilitators. And all of them are working to develop their communication skills to a level that would make them comfortable speaking in public. Now, my belief, of course, the ongoing development of the 4 domains of communication, speaking, listening, reading, and writing, are going to enhance critical thinking and learning skills. And these are the kind of skills that are going to have a profound benefit throughout their lives, not only in their lives, but in the people they come in contact with. If they can communicate, if they can speak, if they can use a whole lot of words before they go on ahead and start lighting and throwing Molotov cocktails, I think that's a good thing. And I'm going to support this as best I can. We're looking to go ahead and align Leaders in Life with the Kelly Blanton Foundation. That's completely escaped my mind. Pardon? Yeah, the Kegley Foundation at Cal State Bakersfield, the Kegley Foundation of Integrity. And they also do the same thing. They teach people to go ahead and speak. They prepare people to speak and present in public. And I think of that as a noble program, and I'd like very much to go ahead and see that continue on. These students that are in the high school district or any of the districts around that are high school age and up, they'll have an opportunity to know about the Kegley Institute, and they'll have an opportunity to participate. And in the meantime, they'll be sharpening all their communication skills. November 19th, that was the Kelly Blanton stand of the Thanksgiving dinner. We've covered that already. I'll go ahead and reiterate, the cupcakes were great. And on Friday, November 21st, my wife Donna and I were invited to the downtown campus of the Central Academy of Art and Technology. And it was a glorious visit. I get to go ahead and piggyback on what Trustee Cisneros said. The impressive greetings that we got. We entered a classroom. A student came up, and I can't tell you the names. Said, "Oh, hi, I'm so-and-so, and this is Mr. So-and-so's class. And what we're working on right now is this." This is the kind of fearlessness that we need to go ahead and get into these kids. Let them realize there's not really as much to be scared of as they think, particularly from their fellow human beings. We have a lot more in common than we do in differences. The vibe of the place was absolutely incredible. Staff and students, they were welcoming, engaging, and they were anxious to share what was happening in each classroom. I mean, they jumped right out at it. I was also kind of impressed too. We went downstairs. I saw computers open, but I didn't see that many. There weren't phones. There weren't anything like that, and found out part of the way that they worked is because the incentive structure at the school is well thought out and apparently very effective when it comes to motivating the TK through 8 crowd. All right, there's a video parlor downstairs. There are actual video games, the old style video games. And the students have to earn the privilege of going down there as part of the incentive system. And think about the wonder of that. They do get to go ahead and play a video game, but it's something they can't take with them. It's not something portable. It's getting the idea that no, this is not something in your pocket just to go on ahead and put your face into whenever you're not interested in what's going around. So kudos to this program. And when you take a look at, I asked for, and we received twice today, some of the scores from CAT, and they are exceptional given the fact that the school has been in operation for just about a year now, Ms. Kendrick? Just about a year. And I also find it interesting, I think it was $8,700 a year per student.
Yes, when you break it down, because we have paid for facilities and different things, so that's our per pupil spending.
Yeah, per pupil spending of $8,700 a year. And what's public education in California cost per student per year?
It ranges depending on the district. They can get anywhere from 12,000 per student to up into 20,000 per student. So it just depends on the district makeup.
CAT sounds like a bargain to me. I don't know what the rest of you are thinking. And then on December 3rd, I went down for the Christmas program. And that was absolutely great. You could feel the vibe in there. You could feel the anticipation, you could feel the fun, you could feel the fear in some of the students. You really and truly could, because a lot of them were presenting themselves out in a solo situation for the first time. And that's admirable. I mean, that is a really, really hard way to get your feet wet. And sometimes it feels like you're putting concrete on your feet and they're going to throw you overboard. But everything that we saw that night, my wife and I saw, was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. There were, again, the enthusiasm and the dedication that these kids are showing, the commitment that they're showing to their community, I thought was truly, truly, truly amazing. It was. Okay, that's the carrot. I'd like to point out that I wouldn't have been able to do anything with CAT on November 21st, on November 23rd, if Dolores Huerta and the CTA had their way, because they did everything they could twice to go ahead and stop CAT from getting the charter. And then they ran up against us. When the numbers didn't line up, we had a chance to go ahead and do our job. And they came out with, flying colors. Absolutely flying colors so far. And I pray that this is going to maintain. But this is already an organization that's been bloodied in battle. They've gone up against a couple of pretty powerful organizations. They're doing everything they possibly can to indoctrinate students in a very, very different way than from the way that an organization like CAT is trying to indoctrinate students. They're trying to teach them things. When it comes to gender identity, I got a lot in common with dead owls. I don't give a hoot. All right? I recognize students for what they are, for who they are, rather. I try not to focus too much on what they are. And God bless any child who is going through the confusion of not being able to recognize and acknowledge the sanctity of the biological sex that they were born. Really and truly. I believe that the problem lies elsewhere other than in trying to make absolutely positively sure that they are protected in that identity. They are fragile beings. They're very fragile. And they're concerning. They're particularly concerning to anybody who sees them as people. We don't identify them. We look at who they are as opposed to what they are. And that's what we want to reach out to, is to the who, not to the what. And I'm tired of seeing the what being pushed. I'm really tired of it. And I'd like to go ahead and ask any of the people here, which would you actually prefer that your students were exposed to? This continuing onslaught of political correctness, of wokeness, or maybe an occasional glance at the Ten Commandments? What is it so horrible about the Ten Commandments? What is it that scares you about them? I can promise you that God is a loving God. I can also promise you, too, that He knows far better than any organization out there that's taking money to go on ahead and push an agenda on kids will ever know. Really and truly. That is the truth. God always wins. He's going to win this one, too. It's an honor to serve on this board. It really and truly is. It's an honor to be able to have an opportunity to disagree with people from time to time. It's an honor to go ahead and be able to agree. I was asked in a letter to the Bakersfield Californian by Judge Robert Tafoya if I had actually gone ahead and polled my constituents with regards to what was assuredly going to be my vote when it came to the resolution on the Ten Commandments. And I told them I didn't poll anybody. We had an election. They put a couple of us into office. They put a couple of us here on this board. Those are the people that we answer to. And those people are the majority. They really and truly are. Those are the people who are caring about their kids. Those are the people who are concerned with the face of education here in Kern County. And that's going to start to become very, very important because a number of other things are happening here in Kern County with regards to the oil permitting, with regards to water infrastructure projects, with regards to the current administration up in Washington, which is really mixing things up. And really, truly important to remember that if we're going to go ahead and rebuild the oil industry here in Kern County, we're going to have to rely upon getting experienced people to come in and build our production infrastructure. And those people are going to be very, very needed, and they're going to be very, very important to the economy of this county. Something that we are also dedicated to is making sure that we're doing what we can for education in this county. And a lot of those parents that are coming from other places are bringing kids with them. And they might very well just go ahead and say, California? No way. I'm not putting my kids into that public school system. And we are going to be out those experienced workers and those families to go ahead and enroll in the schools. We'll be out that because we can't seem to come to an agreement about some very, very basic fundamentals when it comes to education. Students are there to learn. They're not there to get spoon-fed indoctrination. They're there to work. They have jobs to do. Sometimes their feelings matter. A lot of times their feelings might not, because they have a job to do. And it's the job of teachers to go ahead and make sure that they do that job. Well, based upon scores that I've seen, teachers in Kern County, and I'm sure that a majority of them are very, very good teachers. But there's something drastically wrong with what's going on. It could be the distraction of the last 5 or 6 years. But we're going to be needing those experienced people to come into this county and help to rebuild this county and this state. So keep that in mind as you go ahead and look for the battles to fight. And do ask yourself that question: what is it about the Ten Commandments that scares you so much? I'd really be interested in hearing. I'm done.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time and attention.
I also went to the CSBA conference, and I was very disappointed that they do not focus more on county board sessions and how we can engage and what we can learn from. So it's very lacking in that area. But I did go to a county board breakfast, and they did have a presentation on the foster ferret. A foster ferret was developed by foster kids themselves who have gone through the system, and they put together a organized and protected process, and it's on their phone, so they can access help at any time. They can get their questions answered at any time. They get support. It's by combining real-time tools with thoughtful design. The platform makes it easier to stay organized, flag when support is needed, and streamline communication between students and the adults who serve them. they came up with the name Foster Ferret because one of the kids said, well, you know, ferrets are kind of sneaky, they're fast, they can do anything, they can fit anywhere, and we're kind of like ferrets. So they came up with this Foster Ferret. And it's a cute program. I think it's just invaluable for our foster youth, and they're trying to get this statewide, and then they're going to go probably try to get it nationwide. They did give out a little blanket, and it has a little ferret on it, so we got a little blanket, and there's a little stuffed animal, but I gave that away. So that was just one thing that we may be coming into at some point with our county. There was also during the when we looked at the exhibit part, thank you. It was Connect to Literacy, and we had a long conversation with her. She has a money-back guarantee program, Connect to Literacy, and they will help their students develop English language learners, and they say that if they don't progress at least one grade level, you get your money back. So they test each student, and if that student doesn't progress, then you get your money back. But she said, we don't give our money back. So I asked, well, how can you help county boards and the students? Because, you know, they're in and out of the system so fast. She said, actually, they do. And so she said, and their program helps the county and other school boards save money. I'm not sure, but that's up to you to find out. So that was a really good conversation with her. I wasn't here last month, and I know it was an important month to be here, and I was very sick. I was not able to talk. Otherwise, I would have been here no matter what. As you all know, we've been discussing the Ten Commandments in depth, and we've had a lot of discussion about it. We've had letters, we've had phone calls, we've had communication, and we've engaged the community, and I've enjoyed listening to everybody's sides of what they perceive as the Ten Commandments. I disagree with a lot of it, and they may disagree with me with a lot of it. But there's some that I do, you know, even those who oppose to it, I value your opinions, and I agree with a lot of it. So it's been a very emotional time as a board. I think we've learned a lot, how to navigate this and what we should do and not do. I responded to every email I received, and I received tons of them, and I'm sorry if I didn't get back to you because some of them came straight to our county office and I didn't get your emails. And some of the letters that I received back were just so thoughtful and nice just because I took the time to respond to them and tell them what my views were and to thank them for their conversation and what they think. I really, really have valued the time and the effort that everybody has put into this. It's been extremely beneficial for, I think for our community to come together, to talk about this, to discuss it, to learn about it, because I've learned a lot about it, and I think other people have as well. I'm going to read a letter in part that I did receive from a lady who did come to the meeting last month. And I just wanted to share with you a little bit about what she said. Those opposing the Ten Commandments claim that the posting somehow represents the establishment of religion and not a list of rules for virtuous living. However, the Ten Commandments have long been recognized as a universal moral code that could not be more contrary to our everything goes culture as it barrels towards nihilism. America needs the Ten Commandments now more than ever. They should be spread, posted, and obeyed everywhere, not just in classrooms. Without them, we are not truly free. The Ten Commandments establish limits so that we may better exercise our moral freedom by using the command, "Thou shalt not," that identify the harmful actions like lying, killing, stealing, that enslave us to the evil and vice that inhibit the practice of virtue, which is the foundation of ordered liberty. They show all prodigals the way back to the Father's home, and that could be something that you agree with or don't agree with, but I'm just saying that this is what she wrote. They teach us to honor and respect legitimate authority. And she expounds on that, and she also said, by safeguarding the right of private property, they uphold order in society. So I think those were valid points. And the Ten Commandments have influenced political and legal issues by promoting social responsibility, and they establish the principle of equality under the law and emphasize the importance of social order and ethical behavior. Religion is included in public schools and school curricula in the United States through academia in subjects such as CRT, BLM, sex ed, and LGBT. Those are all beliefs. And if you believe something, that is a form of religion. And so if you have to, and there is New Age in a lot of that, but I don't see the uplash in those types of things in the community. Many religious customs and standards are being taught to our students, such as Islam, New Age, and even Satanism, such as the Satanic School in Tehachapi. In the realm of tolerance, our students can learn everything but Christianity. The mention of God brings a spiritual backlash. We say the Pledge of Allegiance in schools still. It mentions the name of God. Whose God are we under when we say that? Again, like what other trustees have said, it's the God of your belief. That's the same logic as the Ten Commandments. They represent moral foundations from many faiths. The First Amendment guarantees freedoms concerning religion, expression, assembly, and the right to petition. It forbids Congress from both promoting one religion over others and also restricting an individual's religious practices. It guarantees freedom of expression by prohibiting Congress from restricting the press of the rights of individuals to speak freely. The First Amendment has two provisions concerning religion: Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause. Today, what constitutes as the establishment of a religion is often governed under a three-part test by the Lemon Law, and we have talked about that. The fallacy of separation of church and state also often misrepresents the intent and application of this principle. It is commonly believed that the separation means that religion should have no influence on our government or public life, which is not entirely accurate. Key points to consider are the historical content, the phrase that there should be a separation of church and state, originated by Thomas Jefferson in the Danbury Letter in 1802, emphasizing protecting religion from the government. The First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution prohibits Congress from establishing a religion or prohibiting free exercise thereof. The First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution prohibits Congress from establishing, I already have that in there. I should read my own writing. Misrepresentations about that. Some argue that the separation implies that the religious belief should not inform public policy, which can undermine the role of personal values in governance. Others believe it leads to exclusion of religious perspectives from public discourse, which can limit democratic engagement. The balance between maintaining a secular government and respecting religious freedoms continues to be a contentious topic in legal and political areas, and I think we've seen that. So much research and effort has been into this vital subject, and I do believe that the posting the documents as a historical document, so we didn't focus on this as a historical document. We only focused on the Ten Commandments, which the other documents were totally ignored. And I can see why, but in reality, they were all supposed to be together and present as an educational tool, not as a religious anything to our students, or we're not promoting religion at all. So we've had a lot of discussions and research on this, and as a board, I think that at this time we're going to not proceed with this. There's been a couple of there's one lawsuit in one state where they are challenging the Ten Commandments. There's been a stay in another state, it's in Texas, and they are in the process of probably pulling that out, and it may go to the Supreme Court. So I don't feel that, you know, even if we tried to do this, it would just be a battle that we would not win. And I don't see that we would go down this road right now. But I do anticipate that somebody would, at some other time, will bring it up. And if they do, we've learned a lot. We've discussed it a lot. And I want to thank everybody who's contributed to this vital subject. It's been a lot of work. And I appreciate that everybody came out and voiced their views. So thank you again. So I know everybody was waiting for that. And with that, I just want to wish everyone a Merry, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And thank you for letting me be the board president this year. And we're going to give the role to Trustee Mercano. And I'm sure he'll do a great job. Thank you all. And we will have our report from our school board member, Annabelle Werner.
I don't have a report, but I'd like to thank the entire board for allowing me this experience. I've learned a lot, and it's just been a lovely time. So thank you, and also happy holidays.
Thank you. And come back and see us. And when you graduate, we'd love to see what you're doing and how this experience has helped you.
Run for the school board.
I'll see you in a year.
Yeah, you could be a young school board member. Dr. Mendaburo.
Thank you. First off, Annabelle, thank you for being part of this group, and you've done a great job, and we appreciate everything, and we see great things ahead of you in the future, so you're always welcome back, okay? You're part of the family. For the board, just wanted to update you in regards to Realms. There is a change in leadership in Realms. They have an interim CEO at this point in time. And so as we hear more, we will continue to update you, but just wanted to let you know that there's a change in leadership for Realms. At your desk, you have a white envelope. It's with the Thanksgiving picture with the group of students. We've heard continuous positive comments from the students and staff of this tradition, and they are looking forward to it to continue so thank you from the Board of Trustees, or to the Board of Trustees, for bringing this into our program. Also want to thank Santa and Mrs. Claus for being here tonight and treating the students to the wonderful hot cocoa and cookies and everything, and taking pictures with them. It really made a true blessing going into the holiday season. So thank you very much. And thank you to the entire Board of Trustees as we move into the Christmas season. Thank you for everything that you do and truly being advocates for children at the end of the day. The final thing I have is to recognize our current board president, Mary Little, for her outstanding. I know you don't like it. That's why I'm not making you stand up.
I have a gavel too.
We want to, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, we want to give you a token of the board's appreciation for serving as the KCBOE 2025 president.
He had
You've
that
done
hiding.
a great job. I had it right here. See, I had the papers on top that you gave me to look at right here. So.
You surreptitious fellow.
But I want to present to you a gavel, and has your name and the board logo.
Thank you.
So on
It's
behalf
beautiful.
Of the entire board of
Thank you.
Trustees, thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you, everyone. I gave it up last time I was up to let some other trustees. So I've been president probably about 6 times. Because I've been here 33 years, 30, something like that.
They've been good years.
But yeah, they have been good years. And we have a good board and a good superintendent, and I'm very honored and blessed to be here with all of you. With that, our next meeting will be held on January 13th, 2026. Oh, man, already. We are adjourned. We are adjourned.
I want a board picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.